Have you ever wondered what it would be like to live in a city doomed for disaster, completely unaware of the catastrophe about to unfold? Our story begins in the year of 79 AD in the vibrant city of Pompeii. Nestled in the shadow of Mount Vesuvius, Pompeii was a bustling hub of culture and prosperity. Its streets were teeming with life, filled with the sounds of merchants hawking their wares, children's laughter echoing through the air, and the rhythmic clatter of chariots on cobblestones. Pompeii was a city of elegance and sophistication. Its amphitheater, the earliest surviving stone theater in ancient Rome, was a testament to the city's cultural richness. Gladiatorial contests, theatrical performances, and public spectacles were a regular part of Pompeian life, drawing crowds from all walks of life. The city was also a haven for the gastronomically inclined. From the wealthy gourmand feasting on exotic delicacies in luxurious villas, to the common man enjoying a quick bite at the numerous food stalls lining the city's streets, Pompeii was a city that enjoyed its food. But beneath this facade of prosperity and contentment, a danger was brewing. Unbeknownst to the Pompeians, they were living atop a ticking time bomb. The very mountain that provided them with a stunning backdrop to their city life was a dormant volcano, its fiery wrath held in check for centuries. Mount Vesuvius, with its lush green slopes, was a deceptive sight. Its serene exterior belied the turbulent forces churning beneath its surface. It was a sleeping giant, biding its time, waiting for the right moment to awaken and unleash its fury. Yet the inhabitants of Pompeii were blissfully ignorant of this impending doom. They went about their daily lives, pursuing their dreams, their hopes, their desires, completely oblivious to the danger lurking beneath their feet. They had no inkling of the disaster that was about to befall them, no premonition that their city was on the brink of annihilation. Little did they know their lives were about to be changed forever. Beneath this thriving city, a monster was stirring. Yes, beneath the bustling streets and grand villas of Pompeii, a silent beast was awakening, a beast known to us as Mount Vesuvius. Now let's delve into the fascinating geology of this beast. Mount Vesuvius is a stratovolcano, a type of volcano known for its explosive eruptions. It's part of the Campanian volcanic arc, a chain of volcanoes that resulted from the subduction of the African plate beneath the Eurasian plate. Vesuvius itself is a complex of older collapsed cones and newer eruptive centers, and its history is written in layers of ash, lava, and pumice. In the days leading up to the disaster, the beast began to stir. Seismic activities increased significantly around Pompeii. Earth tremors, precursors to the impending eruption, were felt by the inhabitants. However, these tremors were not uncommon in the region, and the Pompeians had learned to live with them. They were the rhythm of life, the heartbeat of the beast below. The earth beneath Pompeii was not just shaking, it was changing. The water level in wells dropped drastically. Fissures appeared in buildings and roads. Strange phenomena were reported, wells and springs drying up, animals acting oddly, even the wine turning sour. These were all signs, cries from the beast below, begging for attention. But the Pompeians, they largely ignored these signs. Why? Well, they had no knowledge of what these signs meant. They had no idea that these were the rumblings of a sleeping monster, the warnings of an impending disaster. To them, these were just another part of their daily life, another story to tell over a glass of wine. The city of Pompeii, in its ignorance and innocence, continued to thrive, oblivious to the danger that lurked beneath. The markets were bustling, the baths were full, and life went on as usual. Unbeknownst to them, each tremor, each sign was a countdown to catastrophe. The beast beneath was about to unleash its fury, and when it did, it would change the course of history forever. The day of reckoning was drawing near. The beast below was awakening, ready to unleash hell on earth. On that fateful day in August, Vesuvius roared to life. The earth shook, the skies blackened, and a colossal plume of smoke and ash erupted from the beast that had laid dormant for centuries. The once peaceful mountain had awakened, and with a thunderous roar, Vesuvius unleashed its fury. The initial blast was just the beginning. Pyroclastic flows, a deadly mixture of hot gas and volcanic matter, rushed down the slopes of the mountain at breathtaking speeds. This superheated avalanche incinerated everything in its path, leaving nothing but death and destruction in its wake. Above the city, a dark and ominous cloud loomed, raining down a relentless shower of ash and pumice. The streets of Pompeii, once bustling with life, were now a chaotic battlefield. The air, thick with dust and suffocating smoke, was filled with the screams of the city's inhabitants as they desperately sought shelter from the hellish storm. Imagine the terror, the confusion, the sheer desperation. The world as they knew it was crumbling around them, a violent maelstrom of fire and ash. Mothers clutched their children close, families huddled together in their homes praying for the nightmare to end. But the onslaught was relentless, showing no mercy to the city and its people. The grandeur of Pompeii, its vibrant streets, opulent villas, bustling marketplaces, all were rapidly disappearing under a thick layer of volcanic debris. It was an apocalyptic scene, the city succumbing to the wrath of Vesuvius, its beauty and vitality being snuffed out in a matter of hours. Life in Pompeii came to a standstill. The city that was once a thriving hub of trade and culture was now a silent tomb, its inhabitants frozen in time, their final moments etched in the ash that had claimed their lives. It was a catastrophic event of unparalleled magnitude, a stark reminder of the raw and unbridled power of nature. In a matter of hours, Pompeii was buried under a thick layer of volcanic debris. The city, once vibrant and full of life, was silenced, forever preserved in a state of suspended animation, a chilling testament to the destructive force of Vesuvius. When the dust settled, a city once full of life was now a silent tomb. The eruption of Vesuvius, a force of nature so powerful and so sudden, had left in its wake a haunting landscape of devastation. Pompeii, a city that was once a bustling hub of trade and culture, was now buried under a thick layer of volcanic ash and pumice. The buildings, the streets, the marketplaces, all were entombed in a gray shroud, their vibrant colors and lively sounds replaced by an eerie silence. This was not the aftermath of an ordinary disaster. This was a city that had been swallowed by the earth, caught in the throes of an ancient volcano's wrath. The loss of life was staggering. Thousands of people, from the wealthiest patricians to the humblest slaves, had perished in the disaster. The scale of the tragedy was immense, a testament to the raw, unforgiving power of nature. But in this silence, in this desolation, there was something else. A strange form of preservation. The ash that had buried Pompeii had also preserved it, freezing the city and its inhabitants in time. This was not just a city lost, but a city paused, held in a moment of stilled life and sudden death. The world had moved on, but Pompeii remained, locked in that fateful day when Vesuvius unleashed its fury. The markets were still filled with goods, the homes still adorned with art, the streets still lined with the imprints of chariots, and scattered throughout the city, the bodies of those who had lived and died there, trapped in their final moments, etched in ash for eternity. This was the aftermath of Vesuvius's eruption, a city silenced, a city buried, a city lost. But in this loss, there was also a strange form of preservation. Pompeii was a snapshot of a moment, a glimpse into a past that had been abruptly halted and then preserved for future generations to witness. Pompeii, a city frozen in time, was lost to the world. Centuries later, Pompeii was unearthed, a haunting reminder of nature's wrath. The city lay forgotten, buried beneath a thick layer of ash and pumice until its rediscovery in the late 17th century. It was as if time had stood still, frozen in the very moment of its demise. The preservation of Pompeii was unlike anything else in the world. Buildings remained intact, their frescoes still vibrant with color. Artifacts of daily life, from pottery to jewelry, were found strewn across the city, as if their owners were about to return at any moment. The most chilling discovery, however, were the bodies. Encased in ash, they were preserved in their final moments, their expressions a silent scream against the devastation that overtook them. These remnants of a lost civilization offer a rare glimpse into the everyday life of the ancient world. From these artifacts, we've learned about the food they ate, the clothes they wore, even the graffiti they scribbled on their walls. Pompeii, in its death, has given life to our understanding of the past. But more than a historical treasure trove, Pompeii serves as a stark lesson about the power of nature and our place within it. The eruption of Vesuvius was not a singular event, it was a dramatic display of the Earth's ceaseless cycle of creation and destruction, a reminder that we are but temporary inhabitants of an ever-changing world. The people of Pompeii were not oblivious to the danger. They lived in the shadow of a volcano, and yet they chose to ignore its potential for devastation. In this, we see a reflection of our own societies, often blind to the environmental warnings that surround us. As we move forward, let us remember Pompeii. Let us learn from their history, heed the warnings of nature, and strive to live in harmony with the world that we inhabit. For as the ancient city so chillingly demonstrates, our existence is fragile, our time here fleeting. Pompeii stands as a timeless testament to the power of nature and the fragility of human existence.